Oh, damn, that came from my belly. Ayo, week 15 today. Starting out a little earlier. I'm up at 8:30. Somebody is coming out to sell me some PlayStation 2 games right off the bat. So let's get that done. All right, here's everything I got. Some loose games. That is an empty case. Some games that are going to be used for replacement cases or thrown in the free bin or maybe sold on whatnot. I don't know yet. And then all these. This was the big one. All these games are pretty scratched up, but I can still, buff most of the scratches out. There are a couple that do have top scratching, so that was unfortunate, but still, I paid a fair price for this stuff. All right, I guess I should just get right through this. So I actually remembered that I have an empty case and manual for Pandora tomorrow. It's just got a broken case, so I'll have to fix that. But time to get started on this. So I just want to tell you some things I do with games. So I had this game. I just bought it. It didn't have the manual, but I had a greatest hits one. It had the manual in there. So what I did is I took the manual out of that one, priced that down to a loose price, and put the manual in here because more people want the black label games for PlayStation 2 than the greatest hits. So I think that'll sell a little better than that would sell with the manual, if that makes any sense. However, I'm going to take a quick break from that because somebody is coming out to buy Pikmin 3. Great game. I sold Pikmin 3, and at the same time, a guy came out to look around. He wanted to pick up an Xbox 360, but he changed his mind on that, and instead he got some games. One of them being that God of War 2 game that I just had in the last clip. So that sold super duper quick. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to get back to this. I got a place I got to be at noon to discuss some kind of business deal thing. And later today, I got a famous streamer, Retro Raji, swinging out here. He's going to bring me some good stuff. I'm excited to see him. It's always a pleasure. But I will let you know what I do next. I just got back from buying some stuff. I got this really nice DSi XL. Couple games in there, nothing good, like Disney and Lego Batman, I think. Then I also picked up this vintage 007 promotional t-shirt. So you got the 007 on the front, and on the back you have this cool graphic right there. Very awesome. All right, well, now I am going to wait for a guy to come out. He wants to take a look at this box and see if there's anything he feels like he can fix. And shortly, Retro Raji will be out here. All right, so unfortunately, upon further testing of this DSi, it has a defect. I did not even test it. Well, I looked at it closely, and that's all I did for a test. And I don't know how I didn't notice this off the bat. So yeah, that button is broken. So I should be able to push it right now and bring up the camera, but it does not bring up the camera. So that sucks. I'm gonna have to sell it on eBay or sell it locally for maybe even less than what I ended up paying for it, because people, they don't want to buy shit like this. All right, well, you know what? I was able to fix it. It was a relatively easy fix. Sprayed a bunch of isopropyl in there. I also scraped it out, with like a toothbrush, and then I blew compressed air through it. It still wasn't working, so I sprayed more isopropyl in it, and I put it on the edge of my table like that, and I pushed really hard and kind of like wedged it back into place. And I did this for about a minute, and then it just started working. So that was awesome. Let me show you. Take a photo. Boom. Hell yeah, that was a relief. Still something I'm gonna mention to whoever ends up wanting to buy it, because I just want them to be aware of the previous issues that I knew of. All right, well, that's all I'm gonna do tonight. The guy did come out and he picked up some defective stuff. He took the original Game Boy, as well as a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 4, and a Super Nintendo. Hopefully he can get the PlayStation 4 fixed sooner than later, and hopefully it's not super pricey to fix that either. But Raji was gonna come out. We unfortunately got our times mixed up, so he's gonna have to come out tomorrow, but that's okay. Good morning. Today is Thursday, and yesterday I left off with all this stuff getting done, priced out, and cleaned. I got the button fixed on the DSi. Let's just do another quick test to make sure it's still good to go. I also reformatted everything. It had a couple games installed on it, one of them being Zelda 4 Swords, but it also had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photos of children on here. And normally what I would do when it has a nice solid game like that already installed, I will delete everything but the game, so that whoever buys it can get a free digital game of a pretty good game. And I don't even increase the price at all on that. I'd leave it the same, but I did not want to spend 2 to 3 hours individually deleting photos from the memory on here. So I just opted to do the reformat. Kind of sucks, but also I can't be spending that much time on something like that, as well as I can't be selling a console with somebody else's children's faces installed on it. That's just weird to me. So for the games, I got Gran Turismo 4 and Star Wars Battlefront. They have some scratches on there. My machine was unable to get out, so they're gonna go into this pile of games here that I'm gonna be shipping out to get resurfaced on a much better machine than what I have. We got this big stack of games, and then one Xbox game, couple loose games. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX was actually inside the Skate 3 case. Tony Hawk 3. So that's just an empty case. Yeah, Gran Turismo 4 has to get resurfaced by a better machine. And then Medal of Honor, Guitar Hero, and Dragon Ball Z have really bad top scratching. And I don't like to sell games with really bad top scratching. As you can see, that one right there, it's pretty big. All right. So before I do anything for garage games today, I'm gonna clean up my house a little bit. I do have Raji coming out later today in the afternoon, so that might be the only thing I do. All right, so this is what I got for trade. This 5-foot tall 35th anniversary Super Mario Bros. Store standee. Came from a family video. That thing is awesome. He also brought me some more signage, like a Wii sign, PlayStation, and there are different backs to some of them. So that's the Nintendo Switch. Got Wii U again, and then Nintendo DS and 3DS. Super awesome. Those will work great for a store, definitely. Then he also brought me a stack of some sealed stuff. Got all this right here. So, really cool stuff. I'm gonna get started on pricing this out, and then I gotta make a post to Facebook so I can clear up some space on my table. Today is Saturday. I have not done anything the last couple days. Absolutely nothing. Had to work, and would rather do something besides work on video games and consoles after work because it's so late. Yeah, so last month has been really, really slow for trades. What are you meowing at? I'm selling more stuff than I am getting stuff in. And as much as I want to sell stuff, I also need to start building the collection up a little bit so that when the time comes for me to have a storefront, I'm going to want a lot of stuff. I don't want to have, I want like double the amount of games I have currently, at least. So I went and deleted all of my marketplace listings. It did its job. It got my name out there. But the result was pretty much just selling stuff. Not a lot of people get a hold of me through marketplace for trades. Sometimes, but not a whole lot. And the last couple weeks, it's been nothing but people buying at least 5 games at a time. So I'm happy I'm selling stuff. I'm happy people are learning, but now I have to dial it back a little bit so that I don't sell everything, if that makes any sense. All right, well, I'm going to get started on the games that I was supposed to do 2 days ago, but ended up not doing. I'm going to take the games out of these cases and put them into the steelbooks just because they'll sell way better, and then I'll have some empty cases for the time when I get those games in loose, possibly. All right, let's do it. Got all of the stuff done, cleared off the table. Now I'm actually gonna go sell a copy of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on the PlayStation 4. And I'm gonna hit up a couple places. I'm gonna check savers, even though it almost never works out. But there are a couple more places I can take a look at. So I can usually find some stuff at this vendor, and all he's got are these Atari games. All priced at $5. So I'm gonna look around at the other ones and see if there's anything else here, but there usually isn't. The first stop was a bust. Underwhelming. That was the first time I went in there and there weren't hardly any games, just the Atari games, and he had them all priced at $5, which is pretty much what they go for. And I'm just not interested in Atari stuff anyway. So we're on to savers now. $25. All right, well, Savers had a lot of games. They were super busy, so I didn't want to film anything, but this is what I picked up. Paid $42 for all of it. It's about $73 worth of games. So not a huge, great deal, but a deal nonetheless. Sonic the Black Knight is probably the best one. $8, and I could try to sell it for $15. All right, on to the next stop. All right, I'm back home. I picked these up at the third stop. I paid $25 for all of them. So let's go through here and see how far into the green I am. I'm probably not going to be a ton, but let's see. This is about $43 worth of games. This is going to go into the back burner log because I already have one. It's got a broken case, and I don't feel like spending any time dealing with that when I already have one out there. But it'll be $5 on that. So I paid about 60 to 70% cash for all this stuff. So not a terrible deal, but not like super great games, just a couple great games. But like I was saying earlier, I need to get more stuff. Heyo, it is Sunday tonight, 9:30. I just got off work a little bit ago. So just like last week, I'm not really up for doing a whole lot since it's so late. But a guy messaged me on my Facebook page earlier today, and he reminded me of a conversation we had 2 months ago. Oh, damn, that came from my belly. So he came out to a game sale in August, and he was looking for an Xbox One. I didn't have any that were like ready to go, and by that I mean like fully tested, factory reset, and clean, ready for sale. I mentioned all that to him, and he's like, "Oh, that's fine. I'll still buy it." So I sold it to him, I think for $20, maybe 10, less than what I'd sell it for if it was good to go. But yeah, he was okay with it. So I sold it to him. I said, "Hey, still, if there are any issues that you come across, just send me a message and we'll figure it out." A week after he bought it, he messaged me saying it's not connecting to the Wi-Fi. And I thought that was really strange because they're kind of designed to be connected to Wi-Fi almost at all times. So there's got to be something seriously wrong with it. I said, "Did you try factory resetting it? Maybe that's the issue." And he said he did, and it's still not connecting. And I was like, damn, that sucks. Well, I did just fully test this other one. It's good to go. We can swap it out. Just, set up a time when you want to come out. And that was 2 months ago. And he just messaged me today saying he was waiting for me to set up a time or something. I don't know. There was miscommunication on probably both of our ends with it. But I said, "Oh, damn, I assumed you figured it out with the lack of setting up a time to swap it out." But even though it's way past like my policy. It's not even a policy, it's a gentleman's agreement. I'm still gonna honor it. I I have a week. My gentleman's agreement is a week on consoles and 3 days on games. Um, I want to offer more, but doing it this way is protecting me from being scammed. So somebody could say they came out and bought $100 copy of Silent Hill from me when actually they didn't, and they could be like, "Hey, this isn't working. I want my money back." And then I give them their money back, taking them at their word, but they actually didn't buy the game from me because I'm not going to remember like 8 months from now who I sold what to, if that makes any sense. Um, but in the future, when I can give people like paper receipts and have there's like actual proof of what they bought when they bought it, it's going to be a flat time of a year on everything. That's my goal. I just can't do that right now. I have no way of keeping track, and I gotta protect myself a little bit there. But if there's like a message between us, like you bought something from me off of Facebook, um, and there's proof, like obviously I'm gonna bend the rules a little bit, my own rules to honor any kind of return because I don't want people being disappointed with any kind of purchase. But if somebody came out to a game sale, didn't buy anything, realized, hey, I can get refunds from this guy and then try to get like a big refund from me when they didn't even buy anything. I'm not I gotta protect myself. I hope that makes sense to people. Um so hopefully I have an Xbox One in the basement. I don't know if I do because I really don't want to buy the thing back. I hate Xbox Ones. I love the Xbox One. Great games like Sunset Overdrive, Rise Son of Rome, Titanfall, great games. But I hate them because I don't sell them well. Um, Price Chardon has them at over $100, and I struggle to sell them at 70. And they are a big old pain in the ass to clean. They're worse than a 360, but not as bad as a Wii. They're still really bad though. So I'm gonna go down in the basement and see if I have an Xbox One. Hell yeah, I got an Xbox One. I'm excited about that. I'm hoping that it actually connects to Wi-Fi because his issue has me second guessing these consoles now. But let's hook it up and make sure it's good to go. All right, I got it hooked up, as you can see, and it is installing an update. So it's definitely connecting to the Wi-Fi. I know that because you can't install an update without it being connected to the Wi-Fi, right? So this can take a while. I'm going to stay up long enough for this update to go through, and then I'm going to get a factory reset started on it. I'm going to go to bed while it's factory resetting because that can take a long time, and I am not up for staying up for 2 or 3 more hours. So this is the last clip. If you made it this far, thank you so much. You are awesome. I know it's been kind of a boring and slow couple of weeks, but I expected this going into the fall and winter months. Just like last year, things just really slow down quite a bit. But I got the next 2 days off, and I'm going to start preparing for GeekCon. So I'm going to go through all of my disc-based games and make sure none of them have poor scratching. There might be a couple in here. I just want to be certain. So that's going to be a pretty lengthy process. So I will see you guys next week. Peace.